Somewhere in this forest is a living thing that covers 3.5 square miles. It may weigh as much as 35,000 tons. It has been alive for roughly 8,000 years, older than the pyramids, older than writing, and you could walk straight across it right now and never know because almost all of it is underground. It isn't a tree, it isn't an animal, it's a fungus. And here's the detail that quietly reorders your whole mental map of life on Earth. That fungus is more closely related to you than it is to the trees standing on top of it. We tend to picture this as a planet of plants and animals, with mushrooms as a strange little garnish on the side. It's almost the reverse. Fungi built the world above ground, and they are still silently running it. The organism in Oregon is called Armillaria ostoyi, nicknamed the humongous fungus. What you'd actually see for a few weeks in autumn is a scattering of honey-colored mushrooms on the forest floor. But those are just the fruit. Think of an apple tree. The apples aren't the organism. They're the part that briefly shows up to reproduce. A mushroom is an apple. The real creature is a sprawling underground web of threads called mycelium, weaving through soil and roots. In Oregon, that web has been spreading outward for 80 centuries. Now scale that idea up to the whole planet. If you added together every fungal thread in just the top 10 centimeters of the world's soil, the total length would come to more than 450 quadrillion kilometers. That is over half the width of our galaxy, folded into the dirt beneath your shoes. And these are not plants. Genetically, fungi split away from plants about 1.1 billion years ago and went the other direction, toward us. They can't photosynthesize, so like you, they have to eat. They breathe oxygen, they store energy as glycogen, exactly the way your muscles do. And their cell walls are built from chitin, the same material as an insect's shell. When you eat a mushroom, you're eating something closer to a distant cousin than to a vegetable. That kinship runs deep because fungi are very likely the reason there is anything green on land at all. Around 500 million years ago, the first plants hauled themselves out of the water, and they had a serious problem. They had no roots. They couldn't mine the ground for water or minerals. The leading explanation is that fungi did it for them, threading through the soil, delivering nutrients and taking sugar in return. A trade. Roughly 90% of land plants still run that same deal today. The forest you picture as a crowd of separate trees is actually stitched together underground by fungal wiring. But fungi also shaped this planet by what they could not yet do. Go back to the Carboniferous, 300 million years ago. Trees had just evolved a tough structural material called lignin, and at the time almost nothing on Earth could digest it. So when a tree fell, it didn't properly rot. It simply sat there. For tens of millions of years, dead forests piled up on dead forests, got buried, and were slowly compressed. That is coal. Nearly all the coal we have been burning for 2 centuries exists because fungi hadn't yet worked out how to eat wood. And when white rot fungi finally evolved the enzymes to break lignin apart, the great coal-forming era of Earth largely came to an end. Our entire industrial revolution ran on a temporary gap in the fungal menu. Then there is what some fungi do to animals. In tropical forests, a fungus called Ophiocordyceps infects carpenter ants. The infected ant abandons its colony, climbs to a very specific height and humidity, clamps its jaws onto the vein of a leaf, and dies there. Then a stalk erupts from the back of its head and rains spores down onto its nestmates passing below. For years, everyone assumed the fungus was attacking the brain. Then in 2017, researchers imaged infected ants in fine detail and found something far stranger. The fungus wraps around and invades the ant's muscle fibers, building a network throughout its body, and it never enters the brain at all. The brain is left completely intact, which raises a genuinely unsettling possibility that the ant is still aware in there, watching its own body walk away and lock into place with no control over any of it. And this is not new. In Germany's Messel pit, there is a fossilized leaf 48 million years old, marked with the exact scars of that death grip bite. Fungal mind control is older than our entire primate lineage. One last one. Inside the ruins of the Chernobyl reactor, one of the most radioactive places on this planet, scientists found black fungi growing, not merely surviving the radiation, growing toward it. These fungi use melanin, the same pigment that colors your skin, to capture ionizing radiation and convert it into usable energy, roughly the way a plant uses sunlight. So researchers sent some to the International Space Station. A layer less than 2 millimeters thick measurably reduced the radiation passing beneath it, and it grew about 21% faster up there than on the ground. It is now being studied as a living, self-replicating radiation shield for crewed missions to Mars. We name the eras of this planet after animals: the age of dinosaurs, the age of mammals. But underneath every one of them, the same quiet kingdom has been doing the actual work, feeding the forests, recycling the dead, deciding what gets buried and what gets broken down. And we have barely met them. Scientists estimate we have formally described only a small fraction of the fungal species out there. Millions remain unnamed. So the next time you see a mushroom pushing up through the soil, remember what you're really looking at. Not a plant, not a curiosity, just the small visible tip of something enormous, ancient and patient, a kingdom that was shaping this world long before us and will still be here long after. I'm the onlooker. Keep looking closer.